Recording has already been started. So let me share my screen. First of all, I will start with an overview of Ansible. The scope is limited, a bit limited, because I cannot go into very much details of Ansible, which I usually do in my normal session in our job ready course. But here I will do enough discussion so that you will have the basic idea of what Ansible is, what it does, and then we will start our hands-on. Okay, we will put Ansible into the existing project of GitLab. Let's see. So I will share. Please let me know if you can, if you are able to see the screen. Any person can respond.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay, that's fine. Great. So what we do, I will expand the so that it is visible. So we will go, and we have understood from our very uh, first session that Ansible lies in the operate phase of your DevOps life cycle. Okay, operate phase means where we have deployed our application, and then we would like to do some configuration management. Like say maybe Terraform has done the provisioning, that is creation of the environment and all stuff. And then Ansible pitches in and does the further configuration. Further configuration means installation of software, upgrade of the software or softwares, removal of the softwares, configuration of the users, and there are so lots of activities. You ask any operations guy what is their daily job, and you will not believe what they will say. Okay, they can start, they will not stop. So much of activities they have to do, but all manual, all manual. Okay, say they follow the scripts. They know this is job number 1, job number 2, job number 3. They keep on following. It's a very meticulous type of an activity. You ask any operations guy, and day to day their working can be a bit taxing. They can feel a bit bored, and they usually there is a lot of turnover rate in an operations department, in an operations team, because people hardly 6 to 7 months or 1 year hardly, or if they are very dedicated, they are enjoying the job, which they don't, so they will leave the job, or they might ask for a domain change or a department change, because there are lots of configurational activities that happens every day, because they are maintaining their production systems, the pre-production system, the test environments, the development environments, and whatnot. So every now and then there is some issue, some environmental configurational changes and all those stuff. So what they do, they have their hands full. Uh, Maybe out of 24 hours, it is almost like 16, 17 hours they work in a day. And even deep in the night when they are sleeping, they might be called because there could be some issues. Now, don't you think we as a DevOps guy can pitch in and help them to automate some of their activities? I'm sure nobody wants to automate everything. It is not possible and it is not meaningful. Okay, but at least if we can automate 80 to 85% of their regular job, that is the job that they find it cumbersome, tedious, boring, and repetitive, if we can automate them, that is what our main purpose of as a DevOps engineer is. And we have a fantastic tool for that, which is Ansible. Okay, it's which is called a configuration management, which is a great boon to have for helping the operations guy doing the day-to-day activity. I will not go into the details of architecture or components. Yes, I will give a minimum, level of knowledge on that. So what and why Ansible, why we have already described what is why, but what is Ansible, we will see. See, Ansible, in the very definition, Ansible is an automation and orchestration tool popular for its simplicity of installation, ease of use in what concerns the connectivity to the clients. Its lack of agent for the Ansible, because Ansible is a push model, whereas Chef, if you have any idea that there is a big competition between Ansible and Chef, but nowadays Ansible is way ahead of Chef because of the complexity that Chef brings. For doing simple things, you have to do a lot of things. And also, if you are using Chef, it is like a Chef is like a configuration management tool, but you have to maintain a cluster. And within the cluster, you are adding one after the other. Every day, there can be a new server that is a new, uh, as your company expands, there will be many branch offices locally or globally. And so you are keeping adding or expanding on the cluster. It is very, very difficult. You take it from me. I have used Chef. I have used Ansible. I can know the comparison, which one is user friendly and which one is much simpler to maintain. There is no agents. There is no agents like your Chef. You have to maintain those agents, and agents will help you to. It's a push or it's a pull mechanism. Pull mechanism means agents have to be live in the cluster, whereas Ansible is a push mechanism, so a model which does not need any agents. It's a fantastic design. So Ansible connects to the clients over, because why clients? What is client? Anybody have any idea? Why we are talking about clients? And where should Ansible be? Will it be on the client side or on the master side? Any idea? Anyone can help me? You can try, you if you can. I will tell you, the clients are the hosts. Host means these are the places where you will deploy the jobs, deploy the software, deploy or do the configuration of the softwares or any resources that is meant to be done. So these could be your branch offices. This could be your testing servers. This could be your development servers. It can be your pre-production servers. It can be your production servers. Everywhere you will be using Ansible from the master. Let that be master somewhere over the cloud, somewhere in the head office maybe. But your hosts are distributed all over the globe. And sitting in your head office, you can basically do everything, all the configurations, and automate it in an automated manner with all those servers that hosts. So hosts, the server must be connected to the clients, and it is very simple and very safe protocol that happens is with the SSH, secure shell connectivity, which is the most popular and the most secure way of connectivity. Okay. Now, why Ansible? One of these answers, Google has provided us with some data. And when we see that Ansible, it is way ahead of Chef. And that is also, this is a survey done in 2020. Can you see where your Puppet and Salt is lying? They are lying towards the bottom base. Ansible is the blue one. Chef is the red one. But that was 4 years back. Within these 4 years, Ansible has surged ahead, much ahead of Chef. The knowledge base, because of the ease of learning of Ansible, is uh, quite user friendly. So the knowledge base of Ansible is predictably the very big in comparison to the knowledge base of Chef. Are you getting me? So you won't find you would find a lots of advertisement for people knowing Ansible. There are jobs, but whereas there are only few in comparison for Chef, because naturally the companies are adopting Ansible very fast because of the knowledge base. Another advantage that encourages the adoption of Ansible is its smooth learning curve. That is what I'm trying to emphasize. I can finish Ansible within 5 sessions, 2.5 hour session. Whereas if I had to teach Chef, it would have not completed even with 12 sessions maybe, because the Ansible, the Chef installation, making the cluster will take at least 3 to 4 sessions to complete. It is that tough. So the architecture is very simple. You know, architecture being very simple, you have all this, the cloud, let's say the cloud, whether it's a public or a private cloud, that can be an input to the Ansible system. Ansible is on the master server. Okay. So the Ansible's automation engine is installed over a server on the cloud, where the users will interact with Ansible doing what? Writing. So you are a user, you are a DevOps engineer, you will be writing the Ansible playbook. I have a very simple example today that I will show you, where I'm writing a simple playbook to do some task over on through the Ansible master server to the hosts. These are somewhere some other part of the world. Doesn't matter. But I will go through the Ansible will go through the inventory. Inventory is a file which Ansible consults to know the destination of the host, the IP addresses of the various, in simple terms. So once it knows that, it will be using the SSH connection to connect to it. Once connected, Ansible can push the jobs or do the configuration over to those hosts. It will be using the modules. Modules are the small programs that are built in within Ansible. When you install Ansible, there are over 750 modules already. So you cannot think of anything that is not there in that library. So you want to copy a file from this master server to this? Yes, you can do. So this is a remote host. You want to copy all your files, your source code, to all of these servers in one shot, in one execution of the Ansible playbook, you can do that. You want to install Java, the Java compiler onto all of these servers in one go, in one shot. You will write an Ansible playbook, use the inventory, and the inventory will have the IP addresses of all these distant or remote hosts. You will use the Ansible modules to install. You will make an API call, a REST API call to this, and to post. This installation is a post method. Okay, you can modify your existing configuration. That is a put method. You can get the information from this. You can retrieve the data or retrieve information from the remote host. That is called a get method. So these are API calls that you can make easily from Ansible. And you will be using the plugins to be able to do the network functionality. over onto all of the hosts. So there are lots of things that you can do, but the architecture, they have kept it so simple. Okay, you want to remove, now suppose by mistake, uh, you have installed a software and your management says, no, 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 we don't want, because that is our policy not to install that software. You have done a mistake. Can you, Mr. Debashish, can you please remove all the that particular software from all of the servers? Let's say there are 50 machines or 50 hosts scattered all over the world. Can you write me a simple Ansible playbook to remove all those softwares? Yes. It will hardly take me 1 hour to compile that playbook. And within another 15 minutes, my work will be done. We cannot imagine this sort of automation or this sort of activity that the operations team can do. They take a lot of trouble in doing that manually. So this is the architecture. You are the master. You are the champion. You are the DevOps guy. You are writing a playbook, Ansible playbook. You are accessing the inventories to find out the destinations that will be for the hosts. And then you will be using the modules. There are, as I told you, there are around 750 modules and more. More and more modules are getting plugged in because Ansible is an open source. Okay. So it is open for further improvement. So anything you want to move a file, you want to copy a file, you want to file transfer, you want to create a user, you want to delete a user, you want to modify a user for some file permission, you want to give some file permissions. Okay, you want to change the file permissions. So many activity you can do. As you know, you can install softwares, you can upgrade softwares, you can patch, you can do some patching, some release mechanisms. All these things you will be using SSH and delivering the jobs over or executing the jobs through the playbook. Now, one thing is the requirement. Ansible is based on Python. It is not that I'm saying you need to know Python. It is a software built over Python. Okay, so you can understand how much futuristic this software can be, this configuration. This is going to stay in the market for the coming long number of years. Okay, because it is based on Python and it will be expecting one only requirement. It does not need agents. It is not in a cluster, but it will require that all your hosts, all of your hosts, whether it is 5 or 50 or 500, all of them should be having Python. And you know, the greatest thing today is most of your Linux, most of your Linux distributions come with Python bundled with it. So you do not need to worry, and you can be rest assured that most of your servers are having Python. But okay, how do you know that a particular host does not have Python? This is the first check which Ansible will do. Whenever it will have a SSH secure shell connection over to that host, once it connects, it will gather some facts from the host machine. And what is the gathering of the fact? What will it do? It will try to find out whether Python is installed. If not, it will set an alarm or it will alert you that this particular machine does not have Python. So you will basically, what you will do, you will install it. It doesn't take any time, hardly 5 minutes, to use one module which can automatically install Python over into that particular destination. Isn't it fantastic? So you can programmatically do to find out whether the gathering of the fact, and the fact says that there is no Python. So with that response, you can immediately fire one more module to automatically install Python over it. That's all. So the same architecture, the inventory will list you the number of hosts or the hosts where playbooks will be operated. This is the function of inventories. What is the function of playbooks? Playbooks describes the tasks to be executed where? On the hosts. It is written in a very simple language. You do not need to know Python. You do not need to know uh, Java. You do not need to know not any programming language. You do not need, because as I told you in our earlier sessions that DevOps is about all about what, not how. If it was about how, then you had to know all the complicated languages or few of them to implement the hows. But DevOps implements what you desire, and that is the declarative way of working. And declarative scripts, are, are not at all difficult to understand. It is plain and simple English language. They will have the structure, and within that structure, you will just place your what you want, what you declare, what you want, what you desire. So playbooks are like instruction manuals. You just say what you want, instructions, and that is the thing that will be with the help of the modules you will achieve that. So modules are like tools, are like small programs which is compiled within. So you will have to call that module. That's all, and give some parameters of the things like the copy command is a module. Copy, like the shell command is a cp. You do not need to use cp. You will know the command, that particular thing, that module. You will call that module, and that module has certain arguments. You will fill up the argument. That's all. That is what is your source, and what is the source file that you want to copy. What is the destination, and where? What is the destination? Where you want to copy that file? That's all that you need. And if you want to change the permission of the file, you have to say what are the permissions, whether it is read write, or it is only read only permission, or it is read write and execute permission. So you can just within that copy module you can give those arguments. That's all that you need to do. Okay. There is a very important file called ansible.cfg under the etc Ansible folder. And so that CFG file will actually configuration file of Ansible where you can put where is your inventory file. And there are so many other parameters that we will learn. It is not that you can know everything in one go. But so there are two important files, configuration files, the hosts file or the inventory file, and the ansible.cfg, which can be customized. So Ansible playbooks are written over as YAML files. You know YAML? So what is YAML? Can anybody has an idea? Do anybody have an idea? Anyone? YAML is a very simple, it is not a language. It is called yet another markup language. Like you have the HTML, which is sort of, you have to know about HTML. But here, YAML, you do not have to know anything. Only you will know that YAML has the data, or YAML is just with some format within a file that you write is the JSON way of declaring the data. See, over the internet, there was a most popular data exchange format, which is XML. XML was used extensively earlier, but with the advent of JSON, nowadays, most of the developers and most of the users over the internet will use JSON because that is a very simplified format of data exchange. simplified format of data exchange. Over, see, you have to think of something. You cannot have any unstructured data uh, for most of the important transactions that you do. So you need to have certain format, and that format is JavaScript object notation, which is called JSON, which is nothing but a key colon value pair. Key value pair. That's all. And you write this key value pair, in certain format. So you can leave two spaces if you have a another key value pair, which is a child of this is the main key. This is a child key. So you will have two spaces. And that is the format you have to maintain. You will learn how to write. So Ansible playbook is written in that YAML format. That's all. It is neither a language. It is just a format that is mandatory that you have to give your instructions. Basically, you are writing the instructions. You are giving instructions of the jobs or the tasks that you want to perform on the hosts. There are many hosts. So this is the YAML file. The playbook will execute some task. That task can be anything, configuration task, over onto the host, remote host, through the playbook. Is that clear? Basically, you are organizing. There can be a lot of a playbook like this can have lot of plays. Can be play 1, can be play 2, can be play 3, and can be play n number of plays. And what is there within the each play? There is task, multiple task, or a single task. Task 1, task 2, task 3, and task n. Again, within another play within the playbook. So you are organizing all your tasks in form of plays within a playbook. And so your playbook also will say what is your host. Host means where you are going to connect. This. So all the addresses. So you will now, this host, you have given an instruction which will go and look for an inventory file. An inventory file. That inventory file will now, it will give all the addresses, or basically the hosts. The hosts where this is an IP address. This will be another IP address. And you club them into groups. So that host can connect to a particular group and do that play. This play 2 can again connect to another group of hosts. Let's say this is a group of hosts. You have clubbed it under India. This is maybe Australia. So in Australia, your office has 5 hosts. In India, you have grouped, there are 10 hosts. So whatever it is, you will be clubbing them in the inventory file. And one by one, you want to execute certain group of configuration activities in India. So you will say you want host that India group. You will do certain activities like in India, all the servers need to be installed with Java. Let's say in Australia, so in this play 2, you are connecting to the host called Australia, under which you have collected or clubbed five, five hosts. Those five hosts need to install, let's say Python, say not Python, maybe PHP, or want to deploy one, your application, a web application, a web app, all the five machines. That way you organize your tasks and in one go you execute them. You execute it by using or giving that playbook with a command called Ansible playbook. So Ansible playbook is the executable which has been installed while you have installed Ansible, and then you give this input of what? The playbook. You have given a playbook a name, playbook.yaml, let's say, because it's a YAML file. So that will be the input to this Ansible playbook, and you are done. Your all the activities, all the tasks that was listed under the playbook will be executed on each of those hosts. Yeah, of course, you have to connect. Ansible has to connect over SSH using that connection string. And that's all. Any questions so far? If you have, don't feel shy. You just, I'm not being able to see your chat. If you are putting some questions in form of a text, I will not be sorry for that because I have my full screen occupied with the PPT. I cannot see. So you can unmute yourself and ask me any question. No? So can I proceed? Okay. So that's fine. So as I was saying, your Ansible playbook is like a structure. You have a playbook, there are plays, and within each play there are tasks. You are organizing them. And within the task, you are calling the modules to do some activity. You will have a notify. Notify is like an exception handler or a sort of trigger. You are giving a trigger, and that will be handled by the handler. So that we will learn when we learn it fully. Okay, you will have how you will be creating an Ansible. I will give an example today. So no need to go through this. It's a simple playbook, how it is organized. So can you see, is this a programming language? Can you or can you categorize them as a programming language? No. It is like the JSON data you are writing. Some key colon value, key colon value, key colon value, key colon value. So these keys have a special meaning to Ansible. Okay. This is the key task, and that is the main task. And within that, there are sub task. I mean your keys. So within the task, there is name, one of the keys. Another key is service. So all these things are there. So you can organize with two plays. Here there was only a single play, a simple play, a single play. There was no multiple plays. But here you have multiple play. So a playbook can have organized into a multiple play. So one play is the first play and you are connecting to this particular host and then you are doing this task over onto this host. Now come to the second play. You are connecting to different set of hosts. See, this was you are connecting to the web, this domain, and this was connecting to another domain and doing some MariaDB task because it's a database. So you are either making the MariaDB up enabled true, and here you are installing some web application which is called Apache. So the commands are very simple. You see, you will first of all check whether your syntax of your playbook is is correct. So that is a very simple command. Ansible dash playbook, that is the main utility. You will give the playbook that YAML file, whatever you have written, and you will check the syntax, whether the syntax of this YAML file is correct. Because YAML is very sensitive. If you are not following the indentation correctly, it will not compile at all. So first of all, you have to be sure that your syntax is correct. Then you will execute run the playbook. Simple Ansible dash playbook, playbook.yaml. You want to run a playbook with not with the default host file as an inventory file. You want to run it with a particular customized inventory. So you say your -i identification of the inventory is the file name inventory. Somewhere it is there, and that will be defined under ansible.cfg. Because otherwise, by default, it is the host file that will be always considered as the default inventory file. But you should not be using the host file when you are writing actually the Ansible playbook. You should be having your customized inventory, and you can place that in a particular folder, and that will be defined over in the Ansible CFG. That is how you execute. So Ansible modules are plugins and the library plugins, and whatever the modules are discrete unit of code. There are so many modules. I have listed a few. Ping. So ping is you are sending a response, a data packet from one server to the other server, and you are getting a response back. That is called ping. That is normally a ping. With Ansible also you can do a ping in a bit different way. Because you see, Ansible, whenever it's connecting to the host, it has to do the first task. What is that? Just now we have discussed. What is the first thing that it will check when you ping or when you SSH connect to that server? Anyone? It will check. It will gather a fact. The fact is to check whether that host has Python or not. So if it says that the host is having Python, then it will give you a green return. Green return means it's successful. If it is giving you some red return, that means the gathering of the fact says that your server, it was connected fine, but the server do not have Python. So you need to do some action to install Python. So many things, yum, apt, these are the package managers of various Linux systems. apt is for Ubuntu, yum is for Red Hat package manager. You can install a key, a security key through apt key. This is a module. You can add something into the repository of the package manager. So that is apt repository. You do not have to do much thing. You just have to call this particular module. You can package like you do Maven packaging. Okay. So you can do this. Manage packages without specifying package manager. Suppose you are working on a system by programmatically, you do not know what is the host, and the host you know, but you do not know what is the platform that is getting used over there, whether it is Red Hat, or whether it is Ubuntu, or whether it is SUSE, or whether it is Fedora. You do not know. So in that case, you might not be providing the specific application package or package manager, because that might not work. So in that case, you have given package. So package, let that package module decide whether it is app or yum or something else, or RPM. Okay. So it depends on your. So there is another module through which you can manage the Python packages. That is a pip module. NPM. NPM is like managing the Node.js packages, but it is not a built-in module. This is a custom module. Shell, command, script. These are all like you are trying to run a shell script on the remote module. You can use this. Copy, copy command. It is also a module. Fetch, get URL, file. You can do lots of manipulations on the file. You can change the permissions, you can remove, you can create a file, you can copy. So many things can be done over the file. There is a Jinja 2 template. Nowadays you have the Jinja 3 template. So if you are putting a file, a template, and giving it to the host, so a host of a lot of variables will be automatically configured. So all these things we will learn. There are find, replace, line in, file, service, user, cron. You can run cron jobs using the cron module of Ansible. That is, you can execute a cron job over onto your host, and that is a very good utility for the operations guy. You can build that within the Ansible. Debug. So many. Uh, we are going to skip this topic, roles, because like you organize the tasks within a playbook, similarly you will organize the playbook within roles. So you are basically modularizing your jobs, your activities. That is what you need to learn. So I'll skip this role. Ansible Galaxy is basically, it will help to initiate or initialize a role. The structure that you have seen, the structure, this structure you do not need to create manually. This will be created by your Ansible Galaxy. This is another tool from Ansible. Ansible Vault. Vault is like you have in a bank, you have a vault. What is the utility of a vault? It will save your sensitive data or keep your sensitive data such as passwords, encrypted files, okay, in the vault, in the Ansible maintained vault. Nobody will be able to access it. Now, these are the things that you need to learn in your cyber security. Okay. So how will you save your, or how will you protect your data? In Ansible, it is done through Ansible Vault. In Kubernetes, it's done through secrets. It's an object, Kubernetes object. Config map is also one way of securing your data. Okay, but in Kubernetes. So these are the various commands. I will not go for those details. I will start the hands-on, but before that, I would like to take a pause, and let's see whether if you have any questions before I actually go into the hands-on. The hands-on is a very important part of these webinars, these internship programs. I will display whatever little that we have seen uh, in our small bit of overview of Ansible. We will try to find out whether we can apply that simple knowledge now over a GitLab pipeline. That is a continuation of our learning, because the other session we had seen that we had done with GitLab and Terraform. I am going to incorporate Ansible into that same pipeline in the same project. Now, before I do that, please let me know if you have any question. If you have no questions, then can I, with your approval, can I proceed? Thank you. Okay, let us go to our project. I'm in GitLab. Somebody who has followed my previous session will know that in our previous session we had created a GitLab pipeline. Okay, we have created a GitLab project where we had constructed a pipeline over which we have put in some jobs in various stages, one after the other. And in those jobs, those are Terraform jobs. What we did, that we had provisioned S3 bucket, and also we have created a security group, as well as we have used that security group into creating our EC2 instance on that same pipeline. So let us open that project. Anywhere you find me, you have any questions for me, please let me know. So here is the project folder where we have, this is the name of the project, DevOps Internship, Terraform, Ansible, GitLab. So we, at that time, at the previous session, we had implemented Terraform with on the GitLab, on the CI/CD pipeline. Now today, I am adding Ansible to it. That day we had Terraform folder. In that Terraform folder, we had few Terraform scripts. I am not going to go through, because that is going to take me time, because I understand that you can have an access to our video, the previous week's video. You can please go through it. It will be a very interesting read. Okay, please go through it. So we had provision with the Terraform. These are the Terraform. This is the Terraform logo. We had a provider. Provider will let Terraform know, or let the system know that we are Terraform is using AWS provider. So we are using AWS Cloud. In the meantime, I will go. I have already logged in. I have already logged in, and I am in the Mumbai region. Okay, there are no instances, however, on this. We have not created. We are going to use the pipeline with the GitLab pipeline. With the help of Terraform, we are going to create the EC2 instance. We are using a key pair called DevOps Internship. We are using a key pair called DevOps Internship. And then why is the key pair needed? Key pair is needed because of authentication. You have to be authenticated into getting into that server. Also, we have a security group. And the security group, these are the default one. We are going to create a security group while using Terraform script. So let us go back. Here is the security group. You are using this Terraform script to create a security group. Here is the Terraform script where you will be creating the EC2 instance. And the other one was the S3 bucket. So right now, if I go to S3 bucket, this is the AWS Cloud. You do not have, I don't think we have any S3 bucket. No, we do not have any buckets. So there are no buckets. And within the Terraform script, in the previous day, we have seen that we had created the properties, we have the version control, the versioning enabled, then we had the permissions. We had made a very, very private one bucket into a public one with giving the access control list, that is to read and write from outside. That is any other public other than me. I'm the owner, but I'm giving permissions to use that bucket to be written by somebody else from outside. But right now there are no buckets. I will be using the Terraform script to create them. At the same time, once the Terraform script has been created, the Terraform has provisioned on the pipeline, we will use Ansible to, on that instance, once that instance will be created, I will connect with Ansible. It will connect to that instance with an SSH connection using the inventory and dynamically picking up the IP address. See, the IP address is the one that I would need to find out because SSH cannot connect to another server without the IP address. So how will you get an IP address of the newly just now provisioned instance? There is a mechanism, and that we are going to use a shell. There is a combination of grep, awk, and sed. These three are the master shell commands through which you can dynamically extract using the IP address using AWS CLI, because AWS CLI is a command line interface which can be accessed, which can access your AWS Cloud account and then remotely can extract. I will not use anything manually. If I go to the console and try to find out the IP address, that is fine, but that is not allowed in your automation pipeline. How will you? You cannot. So I am using AWS CLI, one image of AWS CLI, and through that in the pipeline, I will extracting it. I will explain you. But let me first go into that project. Okay. One thing I have already done for you is I have copied the DevOps internship.pem. That is the, I will go again. What is that? Can anybody tell me? Just now you have seen. That is the key pair. DevOps internship, DevOps dash internship.pem. Why PEM? PEM is the format. It is the encrypted format. Okay, that is the fingerprint or the key pair. Now, this key pair, I will be attaching it to the instance. And this key pair will be needed by whom? By Ansible, because Ansible needs to connect to that created instance. So how will you do that? How will you do that? See, Terraform, this is Terraform. Terraform job. It is on a pipeline. There are other Terraform jobs. Terraform job 1, Terraform. This is apply. You will apply the Terraform script to provision something over the cloud, over this cloud. This is the cloud. This is the AWS Cloud. And over this, you have created one server. This is one server. And the server will have a name. Now, in the same pipeline comes Ansible. I'm trying to do a parallel, not parallel, it will be sequential, but I'm trying to do a diagram. So there will be Ansible job that we are going to create. And Ansible is going to deploy or install Apache. Apache is a web server. So, and this is already done. Ansible is going to connect to this over SSH. It knows it has to have an inventory, and the inventory file should have the IP address of this particular server. Let's say this is a server created or EC2 instance. This is a server on the cloud, AWS Cloud, created by Terraform, right? Now, you tell me you are connecting with SSH and the protocol, but this SSH will need a key pair. Key pair means the key pair will be needed. That's all. So what are the things needed? First of all, it needs an IP address. IP address of what? IP address of this server. Next, what will it need? It will need a key pair. So our key pair, some name, DevOps, Internship, .pem. So with that .pem file, it will attach or it will try to handshake with the already, because this was created with the attached, this says the same key pair. I will show you once it is created. Then, so this key pair and this key pair has to match. Then there will be a handshaking. So a connection will be established. But prior to that, the SSH needs an IP address. The format is SSH, small letters, -i, identification file. What is the PEM file? DevOps internship .pem. And then you say Ubuntu, you are logging into as a user Ubuntu @ then you have to give that IP address. Where will you get this IP address? Without this IP address, you will not be able to connect. So you have to extract that. To extract that IP address, you will use the AWS CLI. AWS CLI is a command line interface of AWS, such that you do not have to, basically you programmatically access your cloud, go to that region, and with that account details, with the security credentials, and you will extract that through some command called AWS EC2 instance. That is the not instance, just EC2. So This is the main command. This is the argument, first argument, and there will be a series of so many things. That is what I'm going to put in along with some grep of a shell, along with awk of shell with a pipe filter, along with sed. So these are shell commands, but they are part of this AWS CLI command, a fantastic way. And you can programmatically pick up, extract the IP address and put that IP address in the connection. Is that portion clear? That is required for Ansible. So we already have that. I have transferred that file from somewhere in my Windows folder. I have transferred to this GitLab repository. There is a mechanism to do that. Okay. Once done, and now I will create my Ansible folder because I would like to create one playbook and one inventory.ini and one ansible.cfg configuration file. Let us do that. Any question? Any question of this, how the mechanism works? No question. That's very good. I assume that on a positive note that you are understanding. Okay. So what we do, now we are back. I will create a folder. I clicked on the plus sign. I will create a folder and I will name it as Ansible. Simple. I'm saying created, just a commit message, Ansible folder. Okay, I have created Ansible folder, and you would say commit, which is create directory. So the directory has been successfully created, and that is fine. You know Git, it will have a .git keep file, and in this I will create some new file. First file is I will create an ansible.cfg. See, it is on the main branch. It is under the project repository folder. Under that, I have created Ansible and I am under that. So the project repository is DevOps, Internship, Terraform, Ansible, Gitlab. Under that, that is the repository. And under that, we have created Ansible folder. In this, I'm creating a file called ansible.cfg. And I will open a document where I'm trying to integrate Ansible with the existing Terraform jobs on a GitLab CI/CD pipeline. So in this, I will just copy and paste such that it can save you some time. And I will put it over here. I will save it. Now, I will show you what I did. So let me first commit it. So created file, say Ansible. You can give any message. Ansible job CFG. And you commit the changes on the main branch. Okay, as I am going through this commit on the pipeline job or the pipeline will be triggered. You see, I will show you. You go to the build and you go to the pipelines. See, what are the two things that I have committed? This was done 6 days back. Can you see? It was done on 28th September 2024, sometime. That was in our previous week on Saturday that we have created this pipeline, and the pipeline was passed. These are the Terraform jobs: validate, plan, apply, and destroy. That we will run it again. But in the meantime, I have done two commits. One is I have created Ansible folder. That is one commit. So the pipeline was created. The pipeline was triggered. But yes, every job has now been put under manual. So it will not execute. They are skipped. They are skipped. So it is skipped. The next, what was the commit? I have created a file ansible.cfg. So that was also a commit. So it triggered the pipeline. Do you understand? So let us continue with our code. You come to the code, go to the repository. Come to the Ansible folder because we are not done as yet. Yeah, I told you that I will let you know about Ansible CFG. What did I do? This is a group. We are grouping some activities under some group. The group, this is the defaults group, under which we are saying what is our inventory. The inventory is there under the Ansible directory dir. So that is an environment variable. So that variable is, we are going to define that variable under our GitLab pipeline configuration file. This is just to know that you are under the Ansible folder. You are under this. So this is the project directory. This is the Ansible folder. And under that, there will be a file called inventory.ini where you will put all the host where you want to connect and few more other details. Host key checking false. What is that? Host key checking will be equal to false. What is that? That is because every time you log into or you connect to the first time you log in or connect, it will ask for the verification. What verification? It will ask for you whether you want to verify and fingerprint check. It will do otherwise also. Every time you log in, it will do the fingerprint validation. But first time, the very first time, it will ask for your permission to go ahead. But since we are doing an automation, there should not be any manual intervention. So if I want to make it non-interactive, I have to make it false. By default, it is true. True means it will wait for my go ahead. But I do not want to get interrupted. And the remote user is Ubuntu. Asking of the password is false. Private key file. Now the private key file is this one. So I have to mention that. I mentioned that this is the environment variable, system defined environment variable. What is the value inside that? The value inside that is the repository, root folder. That is the project directory. Under that, there is, in the root folder, there is the DevOps Internship .pem file, isn't it? I have already transferred that file over in GitLab. Now, privilege escalation, that is a keyword. Something with that, the Ansible will understand that these are my privileges, that I should become sort of a root user, though I am actually logged in as Ubuntu. Become method is sudo. We will learn this in details in our actual job ready sessions or classes. Become user root. If needed, you can assume the role of root. So the become true is valid. And become asks password when you log into root. it will not ask for any password. So it's a fantastic way. Ansible does everything automatically. Did you understand? The main purpose of this Ansible CFG is to mention the private key file as well as your inventory. Where is your inventory? And the next stage, we are going to create our inventory file. Any question? Where shall I go back? I should go back to my Ansible folder. I will create another file under the folder, a new file. And the file name is inventory small.ini. Try to make the file names in small letters. But there is no harm if there is a combination. I will just copy it and paste it to save our time. And first of all, let me save it. I will explain. So I say created file inventory.ini. So some message and you say commit. Immediately when you say commit, what will happen? Can anybody tell me now? Whenever you have done some commit, whenever you have done your commit, what will happen? It will trigger the pipeline. But right now I have kept the pipeline on hold. I'm not automatically executing the jobs. The Terraform jobs will not be executed because I did it manual. I will show you. Now, what did I do over here? I am saying whenever I mention all in my playbook as host, so all these things will be, these are all Ansible variables. Okay, so it is called variables, and all of this, these are multiple variables. First of all, Ansible user, SSH user is Ubuntu. Ansible SSH, so all which are required for SSH connection is mentioned over here. Ubuntu is the user, and private key file is Ansible SSH private key file is your CI project dir, which is environment variable. Under that, there is the DevOps internship.10. Ansible connection with which, what is the protocol? SSH. What is the Ansible user? Ubuntu. Ansible sudo, true. Ansible become true. And here I have the Mumbai server. But I do not have anything. Did I have a IP address over here? How will I know? I'm writing it. My server has not yet been created. So on the fly, on the runtime, I have to pick it up. That is the beauty of automation, you know. I do not have to hard code it. I do not know what to hard code. I do not know the public IP address of the server. Do you agree? Yes or no? So what I will do, I will programmatically put in the very last line the IP address after I have extracted. That is the beauty. So whenever Ansible will read this inventory.ini, it will find the host IP address. So it will connect with this key pair, it will connect as this user, it will connect with this IP address. So all the SSH parameters are available through this inventory.ini file, right? Let me go back to, did I commit? Yes. If you go to your build, go to your pipeline, then you will see another, the pipeline was triggered once more. See, the pipeline was triggered once more because you had done one commit, and the commit message is created file inventory.ini. Commit messages are important for you to understand what you did in that last commit. This was the latest commit. This is the commit ID. This you will all understand afterwards when you do a course with us. Okay. So fine. I am not disturbing. Let them be created. It is not harming because they are all skipped. All these jobs are skipped. I will come back to the code. I will go back to the repository. I will again go to the Ansible because there is one last file that I will need to make, and that is the playbook. So I have the Ansible CFG, I have the inventory INI. I will now make a playbook under the folder Ansible. I am giving it a name as playbook1.yaml. And I will go to my file. I will copy this portion and say paste it over here. I will paste it. I will go to my commit. I will explain you. Let me commit first. Created file. What is that? File name? Playbook1.yaml and commit. So again, the pipeline will be triggered. I'm not going back. You understand by the meantime, in the meantime. So this is your playbook. What you did, there is one play. So there are not multiple plays. But in that play, you are first of all connecting to the host. And what is that all? Remember in that inventory file, because whenever you mention host, it will immediately go and check for the inventory file and read the inventory file. Immediately, as it mentions all, so all is one of the variables. And under that section of all, you have all the variables defined. So it will read all the, and it will also read what is your remote user, what is your PEM file, fingerprint, all these things. After that, you are giving few more parameters. That's okay. And you do not need to gather the facts. I understand, I assume, and I understand because Ubuntu server, when created, will have Python inbuilt. So I do not need to gather the fact whether the server that I'm connecting to, the host, is having Python or not. So I will make it false. It will save me some time. Processing speed will increase. Remote user is of course Ubuntu and become yes. So there are few places where it become yes. So you can avoid this. You have given the privilege escalation, that is more than enough. And here you are defining the task because a play book will have a play. This is the play, one play, and within that the tasks will be there. So there are two tasks by the name install Apache 2 and another task is start Apache 2 service. So after you have installed Apache 2, you have the second thing is to start it up, to make the service up and running. Are you getting me? So this is a module, as I was saying, and I know why I'm using not package, but I'm using APT because I know I am creating an EC2 instance with a AMI of Ubuntu. So Ubuntu has a package manager called APT, and APT is a module also for this thing, for module of Ansible. So Ansible, with the help of this module, will install the Apache of the version, the state is the latest version of Apache 2. Apache and Apache 2 is the same. The technical name of the software is Apache 2. Before it installs, it must update the cache, the repository, the apt repository. And this you may or may not give. That means with apt, you are actually using apt get. Get is to force something. If even if it is there, you might need to overwrite it. Okay? Even if Apache is there, you will again install. Otherwise, it is idempotent. Idempotent is like if you have, idempotent is a term, very popular term. That means if something is there, if something is already desired state is already there, you do not need to install it because that is a waste of resources. So if a software with the latest version is already available, you just skip it. But here I'm saying even if Apache is there, let me do it again. So you are forcing it. And the next task is to, this is just a name, you can name it anything. This will be displayed when the Apache, when the Ansible will run. This service, what is the service? Service is another module. A service is to start up. A service module will help any software that is installed. This is the software, which is a service-based software. It is running or listening on a particular port. Can anybody tell me what is the port on which Apache will be running on listening? Apache, I will give you a hint. Apache is an HTTP web server. So what is the port number on which it will be listening? These are the things that we will learn. The port number is, anybody? Anybody will like to try?
480.
Port 80, fantastic. I'm very happy that you were, you are already in track. So this Apache will be restarted on the service of Apache will be restarted on port 80. Can anybody tell me what is the port generally for the HTTPS web servers or HTTPS protocol?
443.
Just now, sorry?
443.
443, fantastic. It's you deserve a clap. That was really good. Thank you. So if it was some HTTPS protocol, you would have said it would be, it is internal. The port is 443. That is why you have said enabled. These are the arguments of this particular module. Name, state, enabled. For apt, it is name, state, update cache, and force apt get. And this is not mandatory. So did you understand? I have created a playbook. So I will go back. I have done it. I do not need anything else. I will now come back to the main part, that is already in my root, there is one gitlab.gitlab ci.yaml. What is that? That is the GitLab configuration script, the pipeline through which you will create the pipeline. So I will open it because I have to now integrate Ansible into it. I will edit the file. Edit the file. This is the heart or the brain of the pipeline. The .gitlab-ci.yaml. This is a YAML type. So you will always see it's a JSON type of data. JSON data. So the key colon value. Now here I have already, this was already declared and defined when we have done the job. I have explained that time. This is the variables that you declare. This is the image that is to be executed when Terraform runs. But now the main problem is I will not only use Terraform, I have to use what? What are the things? Apart from Terraform, I would like to use Ansible. Apart from Ansible also, I would need what? Remember how did we extract? How did we extract the IP address? Wasn't it with the AWS CLI? the AWS CLI with that AWS command and EC2, whatever, we will see that. And we will use grep, awk, set. So this grep, awk, and set comes from where? These are the commands provided by an operating system called Linux. So I will use an image. I have already created an image for your benefit, and I have stored it in the Docker Hub. You do not know Docker and all those things we have not discussed, and you have not done our main course. So anyway, so Docker is a containerization tool through which you can create your own image. And I have created my own image using what are the image is the application that you are creating. So I have created one image. Let's say this is an image, and the images are in layers. So can you tell me, because I need Ansible, because Ansible commands need to be executed, I need AWS CLI, as well as I need Ubuntu operating system, which is a Linux. Okay. So let's say my base image is Ubuntu. On top of it, I have installed AWS CLI. This is how you build your image. And on top of it, I have installed Ansible. So this is one image that I have created, and what I have created using Docker. Okay. And I have stored that image. This image I have stored where? In a Docker Hub repository, which is also over a cloud. So like you have the GitHub, you have the Docker Hub. And now in my in this pipeline, like I have downloaded the image of Terraform Lite, Terraform colon Lite. Similarly, I will download this image, and that image is some name. I have kept it in my account in Docker Hub. My account name is Debashish P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And under that, there is an image by the name. I have forgot the name, but I will see what is that. Okay, so that is this image. So with the help of this image, when I download it and use it in my pipeline, I do not have to install Ansible, AWS CLI, Ubuntu anywhere. That is the beauty of GitLab. You do not have. Did you install Terraform when you have run your Terraform jobs? No, you did not. You have simply used the image. Here also, I will simply use the image, Ansible, AWS CLI, Ubuntu. Any question? So let me close this. Let me come over here, back to business. So what I will do, I cannot have two images in the same, in the pipeline script, but I can put this image into each of my Terraform job. Just so this is the validate job of Terraform. I will, under the stage, I will say image. I have to give in a proper YAML format. So image is the key, and within that there are sub keys, name and entry point. You do not worry about the entry point. I'm putting that HashiCorp Terraform Lite under the validate job, and similarly I will do the same thing for all the Terraform jobs, because the Terraform jobs will need Terraform. So what I will do here also, I will do the same thing. So I will do this. Here also on the apply, I will do. And here also in the destroy also is a Terraform destroy. So it will need Terraform. So what we will do? We will put that image. So instead of the common image, because now it is not only one image and I cannot have multiple images. What will I do? In this, I will use, because there are multiple images, I will use a Docker service called Docker in Docker. Docker in Docker is a fantastic service. So do not worry about that. I will put that image. So I will go to my and this is the image. Because to handle multiple images in the same pipeline, I will need Docker in Docker, that service. The image is Docker, but the service is Docker in Docker, DIND. Are you getting me? And I will create one variable. This variable is the Ansible. Remember that we had used this variable to justify or to say that like the Terraform folder is TFDIR. Similarly, my Ansible folder where I have the Ansible scripts is CI project dir /Ansible. So I've put that into the variable. See, structured way I'm doing it. And here there is a very important thing. The Terraform job will be doing the before script, because here I have no before script. These are scripts directly. So any script will always execute the before script. This job will also have a script. So it will let this be before script for the Terraform. But I need to have something for my Ansible environment as well. So that is, I have done I will explain you in my main course, but this is a very, very important. So I will declare a hidden job. I will declare a hidden job for Ansible with a dot, and that is called the anchor. Here I have kept the hidden job as well as the anchor with the same name. Anchor is with a ampersand sign, ampersand and sign. And here within that, I have given two spaces towards the right, and there are these are all shell commands. I'm exporting a variable saying that this is the variable found, or this is the Ansible CFG. So in this path of Ansible directory, and I'm keeping that in the Ansible config variable. I'm going to that Ansible directory. I'm echoing the present working directory. So these will be executed when I put that as a before script in my Ansible job. Export the GitLab access token. These are the token because I need to, I'm accessing, configuring something on the cloud. So I need some access token, the username, the access key. This is my security credentials of my account, AWS Cloud account. I'm giving this host key checking. I may not, because it is already in the Ansible CFG, the host key checking has been made false. Okay, so this is one hidden job, and I will like to make after the apply. That means the apply has already provided or provision the instance, the S3 bucket. Okay, so once the instance has been done, I will now use Ansible. So let me see what is there. What is the name that I've given? Ansible stage. Ansible stage. So I have added one more stage after apply before the destroy. And now I will define the Ansible stage after the apply stage. So my apply stage is here with the apply job. And before the destroy job, I will put in my Ansible this one. Is this inventory Ansible run? Okay, that is the job name. Okay, this is the inventory and Ansible run. I'll just copy and paste it. So I am done. Just I will go through what did I do in that. This is the job. This is any job name, but you have to be very particular about which stage it happens. So this is the Ansible stage. It will happen in the Ansible stage. And what is the image? Now you are downloading an image because that image is, I have given an appropriate name called under my account. See, I have told you my account name is Devashish P 1234567 Under that, I have an image already created for you. It is Ansible, AWS CLI, Ubuntu. I've given some appropriate name so that by looking at that name, I can understand what is this image. So this image has AWS CLI, Ubuntu, as well as Ansible. And then in the before script of this job, I will execute the hidden job. What is that? To set up the environment, to set up the Ansible environment. What is the Ansible env setup? You just check. Yes, it is Ansible env setup. This is the anchor. So you are executing the anchor by using the star, the asterisk. That is how you do it. And then comes the script. In the script, what you are doing, these are all, you do not need to know Python script. You are fine if you know shell scripting. That's all. So you are going to that project folder and then using a command, shell command with a change mode. Change mode is to change the permission of this file. This file is where? This file is in the root folder of the project folder. So you have changed the permission. You are only giving, because Ansible is very sensitive. If the file, that is the fingerprint file, the encrypted file, security file, if it has a read and write, so it should have only the read permission for the owner. So 4 means read and 0 means nothing. So no permissions for your group, for others. Only the permission of read applied for the owner. That's all. If it is anything else, if it is 5 or if it is 6 or if it is 7, it will not work. It will give you an error, authentication error, permission error. So anyway, so you are now going to that, your CD means change directory. You are going to that Ansible directory and now you are using this public pub IP. This is an environment variable where you are using a backtick to execute the command. What is the command? AWS CLI command. Who is executing this? This image. This image has the AWS command, AWS CLI command. With that, you are describing the EC2. EC2 is the argument, first argument. Describe instances. What is the filter? The filter name is stack colon. You have to know about AWS CLI a bit. And the values. Now we are going to create our instance name by this name. Internship, you will see that when Terraform creates that server, it will create with that particular name. So you are saying that I want to describe the instances with that name. So it is like here you go to EC2 I do not have any. Okay, I have one in the Singapore region. I have one in the Singapore region. So I have three, in fact. So you click. This is the name of the server that you have created, and whenever you see the details, this is manually you are doing it over the AWS console. You have the details. So in the details, you can get the public IP address. Yeah, this is not running, so you will not be able to see the public IP address, but it is somehow describing, it is giving the full description. So that is what you are doing. You are saying that from outside using AWS CLI, I want to describe the instances of EC2. So EC2 is the argument. And I will filter because there can be hundreds. There can be many EC2 instances, but which name? So you filter down the name. So here you are saying that I want a name by the value called internship EC2 instance. You will see that the instance will be created with this. Which region? So AP South one is Mumbai region, because I'm going to create my EC2 instance over the Mumbai region. And I'm now using a pipe to grab public IP address. This is the details. When you use the AWS CLI command, it will give you all the details up to this part. Then you are filtering that particular line where there is a mention of public IP address, because you are interested to pick up the public IP address only. Then you are with that, you are filtering out POC. That is, in that public IP address, you are interested with the second field where it has the value. So print second value, second field. And from that also there will be double quotes and a comma. So you want to truncate the double quotes, you want to use sed. Sed will take out, search for the double quotes and replace with null. Null means nothing globally. And after that also there is a comma. So you want to truncate that. Basically, you are getting like this, comma 192.80.12.10. Let's say this is the IP address, and then you will have a comma. So out of that, you wanted to extract only this. There should not be any double quotes and a comma. So to do that, you have done so much of things. This is the AWS CLI command. Okay. So once that value, that public IP address is stored over this variable, now you are saying you are using the echo command to echo that into the, you see, double redirection. Double redirection will put it to the end of the file. And you know, you have the Mumbai region, something, that group. Under that, in the very last line, it will be adding the public IP address. So in the inventory file, when Ansible will read the inventory file, it will get the IP address to which it want to connect with SSH. Isn't it fantastic? And then you are changing the permission of inventory 644. 6 means read, write, read and read. Then you are saying echo. I want to check that inventory file exists in that particular, and as well as I want to cat the inventory.ini. Cat means I will see the details. So I am interested to know whether it has actually written that IP address inside the file, inventory file. Then I am echoing the Ansible version is Ansible -- version. So I will get the version of Ansible that I am using in that image, this image. And then I am running the the most important command. What I'm doing, I'm executing the playbook 1.yaml with the inventory.ini. And that is what I'm doing manually. So are you fine with that? Oh, there is some problem here. Oh, why did I make two images? No, no, this is not right. Did I do the same thing for all? Oh, it was only the destroy job. So that's fine. Let me check if there is any other error. No, that's fine. Now, see, everything has been done. I have integrated Ansible into the pipeline which was having the Terraform jobs. So one more job has been added. One more stage has been added, and it is Ansible stage. I have done it all manual because I don't want to run it immediately or automatically. I want to have a control. So I will say the commit message is update and commit changes. So now I have the entire, I do not have any, it is validating. Yeah, very good news. This GitLab CI configuration is valid. There is no syntax error. So I will now go to my build and go to my pipelines. You have to give me 1 minute time. So this is the latest one, and I am happy because you see, they were all four jobs. Now you have one additional job, Ansible stage, right? So I will start. I will click on this. I want to execute this particular, the latest one. Okay. The first job, I am running it manually. So everything is manual. At the very end, I will run it automatically. Let me check if there is some error or not. So it is doing the validate job. It is validating all the Terraform scripts. Every time it will upload an image called, not upload, download Terraform Lite. That is part of the before script. Have everybody left dropped, or there are few? Or there are few. That's very good. So the job succeeded. The first job succeeded. I will go back to the pipeline. I will now run the plan job. I will go to check the log. So the plan job is running. Let's see. It will produce a blueprint for the apply. The job has succeeded. There are 7. The plan says that there are 7 resources will be added. Okay. Let's see. We should go to the apply job. Apply will actually implement or provision. Let me go. So there are 7 jobs. Few of them are from the S3 bucket, where the S3 bucket will be created along with some properties and some permissions. Those are also objects, resources. And another resource is security group. And the last resource is the EC2 instance. See, every time it is using the Terraform : Lite image. So it is creating the bucket ACLs, the access control list. It is now creating the internship EC2 instance. Can you see the name? It is done. It has done fast. The 7 resources were added. Job succeeded. Now we are coming to the Ansible part. So Ansible should now pick up the IP address, that basically the AWS CLI, and Ansible will use that IP address to, let's see. I'm not sure whether it will be running perfectly well, but we should. See, everything I have done manual. So once I take out that manual thing, I make it always, then it will be automatically, once there is any commit on that pipeline, the pipeline will be triggered and automatically the jobs will start running. I may not have time to show you the automation. The automation is that just making manual, changing manual to always will automatically do it. Let's see. But my first concern is whether the EC2 instance has been created, and whether now Ansible is doing the job to install what? Apache. I will connect from outside and go into that server to check whether Apache is running, and as well as I will use my browser to see the Apache welcome page. It is doing it. Oh, it is installing Apache. So that is the task. It has already connected, and I believe that, yeah, it has got the IP address. You can see it has got the IP address. So the IP address, whatever it is, it will be dynamically picked up. So my programmatically, whatever I thought is working. Yes, it has installed Apache and now it is starting Apache service. So this thing is successful. My project is successful. I will verify it. Before I drop, I should drop. See, it is succeeded. The connection were 2 and the changes were 2. There was one installation of Apache and one starting of the service. So 2 changes. Now I will go to my AWS Cloud. I will change over to Mumbai because this is where my EC2 instance was created. Can you see that this was just now created? There was nothing. This was just created with the name Internship EC2 instance. This was done by Terraform. If you check, the IP address is 13.232.183.69, and you will see that this one is created in AP South 1B. All these things are done with Terraform scripts, and it has used the internship _ SG for the security group, and it has used the key pair as DevOps -internship. So I will connect to it, and also I can see the S3 bucket should be created. Yes, my S3 bucket, it is created. It is created along with the properties, which is enabled of the bucket versioning enabled, and with the permissions. We have seen this all. The public access was enabled. Object ownership was bucket owner preferred, and the access control list. Can you see the public? Everyone was given a read write list and write permission. So this portion worked. I will go to EC2. I will connect because my Ansible should have installed Apache. I have to verify that. Otherwise, how will the project be successful? So let me see whether Ansible has done this beautiful thing on that server. So I will click on this, copy it, and I will go to my putty. I will connect to this. I will load it. I will just change the IP address. I have already created this for you so that I do not have to do it again and again. Yes, it is connecting. Yes, it has connected. So if you can check, the internal or the private IP address is 172.13.132.20. Go to there. 172.13.132.20. Exactly. I can copy it and you can verify. I will paste it. Can you see? It is exactly matching. So this is the server that I have logged in. And now I will verify status of Apache 2.service. This is a command that I have given to check the status. Yes, the Apache HTTP server was installed and it was made active and running. It is running. And now I can also verify from outside. So what is the IP address? Again, I will copy the IP address, public IP address, and I will go over here and I will say HTTP colon this colon. Now you know Apache works on HTTP server, which is uh, 80 port 80. Can you see that it has invoked the page? If you had gone there and said sudo systemctl stop Apache 2.service, it has stopped. Now you go there. Will you be now? I am refreshing this link. Will it find? It is unable to connect because you have made it down. I will make it up. Start Apache 2. Okay. So it is back again up and running. So let me go there and I will refresh it again. Yeah, it came. So I have verified everything that my Terraform and the Ansible jobs worked fine, fantastically over the pipeline. And if you give me 2 minutes time, and then I can do one thing, show you. So I will go over here. I will go to my pipeline. I will destroy all the resources because I wanted to show you I will destroy all the resources that was created so that everything will be taken out. So we are trying to delete all the resources, destroy all the resources because we want to now show you the automation. Automatically, once I make the changes from manual to always, so it becomes automatic. So you see the connection has got lost because the server was dropped. It is destroyed. It is still destroyed because it will take a bit of time to drop that instance. Still destroying. It is terminating the server. Fine. Fantastic. All the 7 resources were destroyed. Now I will go back to my code and go to my repository. I will do a change in my pipeline script or configuration file. I will edit this file. I will simply change all the manual to always, excepting the drop. Drop, I do not want to automatically do it because I want to check. So here you will see manual. Okay, here you will see manual. I will say always, 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 always. But the drop, the destroy job, I will not, I will make it manual. So this was the change, and I have to commit that. Immediately the pipeline will be triggered and automatically the job starts. Okay, so I can go to my build and the pipeline. You will see that the pipeline has automatically started. I didn't do it manually. You see, it is running. It is the latest one. So it has started. I will not go to the job logs. You can just see. Once this is successfully done, it will shift over to the plan job. Did I run it manually? No, I did not. See, when the this one was successful, passed, it automatically shifted to the next job in the pipeline. And that way it will continue till the destroy will be manual, so it will stop over here after the Ansible stage. So you have seen that. And this is this much from my side today. Thank you for your patience. I know there is only few people. It's okay because these 5 important guys are very important to me. Thank you, and I will end the session today. It has been a very long wait. It's more than 4 hours now. So let us conclude that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Devashish. Yeah. So, guys, do you have any question? I think Wisdom is the only one who is, have connected with this class from day one,
Yeah,
and Isidro also.
I think Selassie as well.
Yes. So, guys, what is your thought? And
I think we have to repeat this session again next week
yeah,
for the
because
benefit of many of our Indian students because they were having some issue. I am not issue. It's a festive period.
yeah, this week is a festive. So, for your information, in India, it is like a Christmas for Indian people. So,
Yeah.
the biggest festival is going on. So most of, and it will continue for another 5 10 days, 5 or 10 days. I think Mr. Devashish will also be little bit busy for upcoming days. Same goes for me. So but we are going to complete, and the next weekend, hopefully we can start our AI internship as well as so it will be much more interesting topic. That will be a 4 weekend session, and hopefully you. But so we do have two different domain. One is DevOps, DevSecOps in single domain, in a single line, and another line we do have a data science and data analytics. So there comes hands holding their hands together. So though if you have interested on DevOps and DevSecOps or cybersecurity, those two fields is not directly aligned. But for the sake of good knowledge, you may join. But you cannot utilize those information on your DevOps or cybersecurity career. Any more question, or can we can wrap up today's session? CY, Mehul. So guys, this is this is supposed to be an interactive session, and you have the whole stage to ask the question. It is not like any other webinar where we are only going to provide the information. You can share any information. If not, then thank you everyone to join our session today. Though it was a little long, but we had to carry on those who have already join, and we have to give the proper respect to their valuable time. So that's the reason we had to carry on today's session. Thank you, Mr. Devashish, and happy weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.